Let us discuss the working principle of axial compressors. Why we are calling it as a axial compressor? Compressor is a device which compresses the air or gas by taking the work input. If any prime mover supplies a sufficient work to compress the air or gas, that particular device is called as a compressor. If air or gas enters the compressor in radial direction, that is called as a radial flow compressor. If the air or gas enters the compressor parallel to the axis of rotation of the machine or compressor, then that compressor is called as axial flow compressor or simply axial compressor. If you see the schematic diagram of axial compressor, we can find that certain blades are mounted to the rotating drum and certain blades are mounted to the casing. See, this rotating drum is coupled to the driving shaft. This driving shaft is coupled to the prime mover or any other electrical motor. Here, certain blades are mounted to the stator casing. So those blades which are mounted or keyed to the stator, they are called as stator blades or fixed blades. Those blades which are mounted on the rotating drum is called as rotor blades or moving blades. Here stator blades is fixed at one position, and whereas rotor blades or moving blades will move or rotate as the rotating drum rotates. Here air enters the compressor in this inlet through the inlet section, and after compression air will delivered, compressed air will delivered and conveyed to the application point. Here, what is the function of the stator blades? These stator blades or fixed blades convert the kinetic energy of the air into the pressure rise, and also these stator blades guides the air to flow to the next stage of moving blades in a designed angle. Angle of entry is a very important factor. Here, one of the things we have to know is all these moving blades and fixed blades are the aerofoil section, which is governed by the aerodynamic structure. Because as the air is flowing or experiencing the various metallic surfaces, the flow, the air will experience a certain friction. So this friction must be minimized. Losses due to the shock and losses due to the turbulence must be minimized. So they can be minimized by having the aerofoil section supported by the aerodynamic theory. And these blades are free from stalling. What is meant by stalling? Stalling is nothing but if the air is failed to follow the blade contours of the next stage, then we can say the air is stalled. By following this aerodynamic structure, aerofoil structure, stalling problems are minimized. Here we have to observe one thing. From inlet to the outlet, the area of the cross section is gradually reduced. What is the reason behind it? We have to always keep the velocity of flow of the air must be constant throughout the length of the axial flow compressor. That is why this area is gradually decreasing manner. And what is the working principle? How the air is getting compressed in this axial flow compressor. See, this driving shaft is coupled to the any other electrical motor or prime mover. Once we supply electrical power to the motor rotates. So, being that motor shaft and the driving shaft is coupled, so driving shaft rotates. So, this driving shaft is coupled to the rotating drum. So, rotating drum rotates. So, blades are mounted on the rotating drum. So, moving blades or rotor blades will rotate. So, as the air is passing through this axial flow compressor and it will be entrapped in this annulus. So, these blades are continuously does the work on the air. Because of this, what happened? The pressure rise will take place. And also, with this rise in pressure, compressed air will deliver to the application point. Here we can observe the moving blade structure and fixed blade structure. So this is the row of rotor blades or moving blades. This is the row of stator blades or fixed blades. See, the comprisation or a combination of rotor blades and stator blade is called one stage. So one stage is nothing but combination of fixed blades and as well as rotor blades. If you come for this inlet velocity triangles are very important factors in determining the work done, work required for the compression of the air. So this is the inlet velocity triangle. What are the terms presented in the inlet velocity triangle? C1, absolute velocity of the air. This is this air with a velocity C1 entering the compressor with fixed blade angle alpha 1 and beta 1 is nothing but moving blade angle. CR1 is nothing but relative velocity of air at inlet. Suffix 1 indicates inlet and the suffix 2 indicates outlet velocity. Okay. CF1 the flow velocity, CW1 fill velocity of air at inlet, CBL blade speed, and if you come for the outlet velocity triangles, C2 absolute velocity of air at outlet, relative velocity of air at outlet, fill velocity of air CW2 at outlet. See, if you compare these two or if you observe these two velocity triangles, you will get 2 points. What are they? Blade speed is same in both cases. So because outlet radius is a same, outer radius of the blades is same in these cases. And another thing, what is another thing? You observe relative velocity. Relative velocity is being decreased in the outlet because as the kinetic energy of the air is getting converted into pressure energy, the relative velocity will decreases as the air is flowing through the flow axial flow compressor, and there are certain coefficients which related to this axial flow compressor. What are they? Degree of reaction. Degree of reaction. What is meant by degree of reaction? This is nothing but pressure rise in rotor blades to the pressure rise in a stage. That is total pressure rise in a stage. Stage is nothing but a combination of rotor blades and as well as stator blades. So if you keep the degree of reaction as 0.5, that means 50%, we can say that blades are having equiangular blades. These are also called as symmetrical blade structure. And next come from the flow coefficient. Flow coefficient. This is nothing but velocity of flow. Nothing but the ratio of velocity of flow to the blade speed. Here you may get one doubt whether this velocity of flow is at inlet or outlet. In this axial flow compressor, velocity of flow is remains constant because the annulus area has been in the decreasing manner to keep the velocity of flow constant. And next now for the head or work coefficient. Head or work coefficient. This is nothing but the ratio of actual work done to the kinetic energy corresponding to the peripheral velocity. Peripheral velocity is nothing but the blade velocity. If D is the rotor diameter and N is the rotational speed, then we can get the blade speed as pi dN by 60. We know it. And the pressure coefficient. What is meant by pressure coefficient? This is the ratio of isotropic work done to the kinetic energy corresponding to the peripheral velocity. So by seeing these two terms, you may get one doubt. Here we are talking about actual work done, and here we are talking about isotropic work done. Yes, always we have to consider actual conditions and as well as ideal conditions. Ideal conditions means frictionless. So if there is no friction means entropy will be constant. So in that process, what is the actual work input required? So that work is called as an isotropic work done by the blades on the air. And in the actual process, air will experience a certain friction. So because of this friction, heat will be generated. So this heat causes the changes in entropy. So because of this, entropy will change. That is why entropy will not be constant. So we cannot call it as an isotropic compression. It is an actual compression process. So being it is actual compression with changes in entropy, we have to consider actual work input to compress the air. Materials which is used for the rotors, rotor blades, shafts, stator blades and castings. For rotor blades, we may use ferrous composites, aluminium, titanium, steel and nickel alloy. For rotor, for disc and shafts, we will use steel. From the steel, we will produce these disc and shafts. For stator blades, whatever the materials we use for the rotor blades, same material can be used for the stator blades also. Along with that excess, we can use steel. And for castings, we may use magnesium, aluminium, steel, iron, and are fabricated from aluminium. Why we have to mentioning the materials? As mechanical engineers, we must concentrate on the metallic and thermal properties of the metals as they subjected to the temperatures in the working operation. So before selecting this material, we will put the casting and manufacturing and forging concepts in our mind, selecting the materials, because these compressors will be affected with vibrations and air flow, shocks and turbulences. So material properties should not be decreased, should not be affected. And also these blades must be in a super finished manner with aerofoil structure. This aerofoil structure help us to minimize the shocks, losses due to the shocks and turbulences and stalling operation. We already mentioned this stalling. If the air flow is failed to follow the contours of the blades, that we can say air is stalling. So to avoid that, guide blades or fixed blades will help the air to flow, this to follow the proper contours and enter the next stage of blades at desired preset angles. So everything is important one in these compressors, because these compressors are work taking or work in. We have to supply the work from outside, whereas the turbines are the work producing devices. Compressors are negative work devices, so we have to supply the work. We want to always keep the work as minimum as possible. Because of this work input, all these technical concepts and materials and its structure supported by the aerodynamics theories will be considered to have the higher compression efficiency with the lesser work input with less losses.